Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today we're going to be making Ariel, and it's going to be she's going to be in her detachable dress. And one of the little surprises about this one is that when you take her dress off, instead of legs, she has her tail. So this is what we're going to be making today. If you don't have a monster tail loom to be able to make this dress on, you can make it on a standard loom, and I do have a tutorial on my YouTube channel on how to do that. I will be making it on a monster tail though. The colours that you're going to need: I'm using a red for her hair, flesh tone for her skin, I'm using a purple for her bikini top, I'm using just the normal sort of green for her tail from Rainbow Loom, and I'm using a different sort of shade. I think this is the specialty, different kind of, it's sort of like a pearly green from Rainbow Loom, just to do these bits on the side here. I do have a little bead that I'm putting in the middle as a jewel, but you don't have to do that. You can do that with a band if you choose to. And then I'm also using 2 mini pony beads for her eyes. Okay, so we will get started on making our Ariel in a detachable skirt. We'll start with the figure, and we're going to have a standard loom. It's in the offset configuration, which means columns 1 and 3 are lower than column 2. The arrow is going to be facing towards you. If you don't have an arrow on your loom, it's the open part of the peg facing towards you. We're going to be double banding, and that means you take 2 bands and you place them across the pegs as if they were one, or you flick them at yourself like that. Okay, you will need a spoon to help you put your mermaid in her dress, and I do admit it is a little more tricky to get a tail stuffed into a dress than it is just little legs, but where there's a will there's a way, right? Okay, I'm on to flesh tone for her face. And you will want to make sure that you're pushing your bands down, okay? It does make things easier. Taking a single band, we're going to stretch it and put it across these pegs here as our crossover band, so it's in the shape of a triangle. And then across here we're going to take a single band and wrap it once, twice and 3 times, and we'll do that again once, twice and 3 times, and this band just goes across the eye area and stops the eyes from sinking to the back of the head. Now for my eyes, I'm using my 2.75 crochet dude hook, which fits these mini pony beads down it very nicely. But if you use floss or a metal threader, I've got a tutorial on my channel on how to make a metal threader from a twisty tie, feel free to do that. If you're using bands instead of beads or different size beads, that's fine too. Place your eyes on your band and place them over between these 2 pegs, and then we're going to split this band in 2, and we're going to move the top part over this peg here, like that. I'm going to use 3 bands for her neck. Routinely this is a weak area, and I like to have the extra reinforcement. Now we're going to her shoulders. And down her chest area here. I'm using the Rainbow Loom Jelly Purple for her bikini top. Now we're not going to be putting arms on straight away, we're going to be doing something a little different with arms. What I wanted to happen was for these bands here to go around as if it was a bikini top encapsulating her body, not just having bands that just went under here and then flesh tone bands on the outside. I wanted the purple straps to be there. So how I've done that is by taking a purple band, not stretching it out of shape, but doing a twist on it. So you just take one band, figure eight it very smallly, and do that as if you were doing a belt. Okay, so we're going to put those there. Flesh tone, I was looking for it. Here we go. And we put the arms on after we've done that bit of looping. Green, where's my green? Here we are. So, double banding. Oops. Now, we're not going to put green here. What we're going to do is put green like that, so it stretches up. Okay, make sure you push those nice and down tight. I'm going to do a couple of crossover bands. Down the bottom we want it to be thinner, as you can see on here. So we take a single band, figure eight, loop it on itself, and we place that in a triangle down here. I'm going to do the same for the one above it. Again, I want that one to be thinner. But then I want these to be just normal, so I'm just going to put a single band not looped there, and the same here. But I do want her waist to go in. So what I'm also going to do is I want to put this definition between her tail and her body. Okay, so again, it's like doing a belt. You're going to take a single band, loop it on itself, but don't stretch it out of proportion, and place one there. But you're going to place another one on top of it. Alright, so there's two there, and two on this one the other side. And I'm not stretching them too far because I don't want them to be out, stretched out of shape. So just like we're doing a belt. Okay, and I'm going to wait on putting my crossover band here, but I am going to take a single band and loop it on itself and put it on that peg to remind me that we have to. I'm going to put purple bands. Here I am grabbing flesh tone. 2 purple bands, and they go up like this. Alright, I'm also going to use a bead for the centre here for her jewel. So what I'm going to do is see if I can thread one of these green bands, these sort of pearly green bands, and it might be a bit thick, but I'm using my metal threader, and I'm going to see if I can pop it through this little bead here. And the bead might be a little bit too fine. Yes, it is. That's a shame. I thought that would look pretty. Instead, what we can do is either use a different bead or just use a band. I can use a band and take it, put my hook through it, wrap it once, twice, 3 times, and then slide that onto my green band like that, and I'm just going to bend it over on my hook like this and place it, and it has to be placed on this one here. So this is where I put my band to do my crossover. I'm actually going to take that off. We just have to remember not to forget to do that. So I'm going to put my jewel right there, okay? I mustn't forget that, don't let me forget that. Alright, arms, I'm going to prepare and keep them on a holding hook. One band through, wrap it once and twice, and then we do 5 pair of the flesh tone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm just going to place that on my holding hook until we're ready to use them. And I'll make the other one on the holding hook once and twice, 3 times, a pair, slide these bands on, reclaim the end of your bands, and 5 pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they are just going to wait until we're ready to put them on, okay? We need to do her tail and we need to do her hair. Let's do hair next. So a single red band, wrap it once and twice, and then we're going to slide it onto probably, I think it's about 8 of these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This side on your hook is going to go opposite the eyes. You're then going to skip down 1 loop and go to the 3rd loop and pop that on next to her jaw. We'll do the same for the other side. A single band, wrap it once and twice, and 8 pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's going to go against her eyes here, skip a loop, go down to the third one, and that goes near her jaw. Alright, for her tail. Now this will be a bit tricky, and you might need to have another hook or a pencil, a toothpick, something else, a chopstick, something to help you as well. I'm going to move this out the way for a second. I'm going to get a single band. I'm going to wrap it once and twice. I'm going to take a double band. I'm going to slide it through like that, but I'm not going to reclaim the end. Okay, instead I'm going to hold one side here, get another 2 bands, and I'm going to slide this little edge over like that, and then reclaim the end of that one. So this is my original one still here. I'm going to now reclaim the end of that and take another pair and slide just those 2 on like that, so that I end up looking like this. Okay, each side is on its own pair. Now it's going to get trickier. Take a pair, slide one side of this band on and reclaim. Okay, so just that side is on a peg, a hook. I'm going to transfer that one. That one is done for the second. I'm going to transfer that one onto another hook, pencil, end of a toothbrush, whatever you like. Okay, now I'm getting another pair of bands. I'm going to pop that on the end, and I'm sliding these 2, so the end of this one and the first end of that one onto it. Reclaim onto my hook and move to my other holding hook. Now I just have one end left. I'm going to get a double band, and I'm going to slide that onto it and reclaim, and I'm going to push that one onto my holding hook as well. So now you have these 3. It's like a little pyramid, if you can see that. Now what we're going to do is take another pair of bands, put it on the, oh, I can see that one's going to break. Caught that in time. Okay, a pair. Now as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops here. We're going to take 3 of those loops, so 1, 2 and 3 onto that pair and loop it over, reclaim the end. Move that one over so it's out of the way of what you're going to do to the other side. You're going to get another pair, and you're going to move these 3 loops onto this pair and reclaim. Okay, so now you've got 4 loops. See? We're now going to take a pair again and slide all of them onto it and reclaim. Okay, and that's going to be our fishtail. I'm going to put this onto a hook just to hold it for the minute. And again, it doesn't have to be a hook, it could be a pencil, it could be anything, just to hold it, because we're going to make another one. So a single band, I'm sorry, I'm sending on a bum steer here, single band, wrap it once and twice. Now we take our double band and slide it halfway through like that. We're going to put a double band on here and a double band on here. So take a double band and slide it on and reclaim. Then take this side, put it back on your hook. Take a double band and slide those loops onto it and reclaim. So now we've got the four sets of loops there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get it untwisted. Okay, so now with these we're splitting them up again. we're going to put a double band on here, a double band on these two middle ones, and a double band on there. So double band, slide those first pair of loops on and reclaim, and this is where we're going to move those ones, we've done those ones, move those onto another hook. The two middle ones, we're going to put those on a double band. Oops, let me just save these. There we go. So we're going to put these ones on a double band as well. So take your loops and the two middle ones, and reclaim and put them on your holding hook. And then our last loop, double band, slide that over and reclaim and put them on the holding hook too. Now you have 6. Okay, so we've got 2, 4, 6. We're going to reduce that back to 4, and the way to do it is to split these loops into half. So we get 3 loops on one double pair, 3 loops on the other double pair. So get a double pair, a pair. Put your hook there with the pair of bands on it and slide these 3 loops over and reclaim and put on a holding hook, pen, knitting needle. Then you've got 3 loops left. Get a pair and slide those 3 loops onto it and reclaim. Move it onto the holding hook. See now how we're down to 4, and this is where we take another pair of bands and slide those 4 onto the 2 bands. Like that. Okay, we need to get these both on the same hook, so I've taken those off and I'm popping them here together like that. Okay, so now I've again got 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. I'm going to take a pair, I'm going to slide all 4 onto that pair, and I'm going to reclaim it. So it's like that now. Now the problem is, if I was to put this on my mermaid now straight away, the way the bands are, I'd have to put it this way, and her tail would be the wrong way. You want it to be facing this way, not that way. So what we're going to do, take 2 bands and we're going to thread them between the hook and what we've just loomed for her tail. Okay, we're going to put on one side get another hook or a pencil or something and put one side of that on your hook. Then you're going to take the first 2 loops onto your hook, the second 2 loops onto your hook, and then the end of the band like that. This now has formed your fishtail and allows you to place it the right direction, okay, whereas before we would have had to be placed facing the wrong way. Stretch it out, and we're going to place this very carefully on that bottom peg, and that one did not. We're going to dig down. We need to find these 2 top bands. So these are the ones for me that are on the top. I need to dig down past all of those bands that we just placed for the tail, grab those 2 and loop them up to the side. Then I've got to do the same to the other side, grab the 2 and loop up. Grab those bottom ones and loop up, and I've got one stuck, I can see that, there we go. Okay, pull these back and grab the 2 bottom bands. Where you have crossover bands, you're going to push them back with your hook just to expose the bottom 2 bands. And we're going to loom up to where we get to these bits where we have what's similar to a belt. So loop that up, loop that one up, and loop that one up. Now we're going to flip these over, okay? So push your hook, it's got to go under the bottom of your green band. Grab those bands and pull them around and up like that, okay? Same for this side, go under that bottom green band but not underneath the flesh tone. So under the bottom green, twist your hook around, grab those green bands that are the loops, I'm trying to grab all of them, and pull them forward. Now I didn't grab that one, so I'm going to go back for that one. Grab him and pull him forward. See? Same with the one with the purple, pretend purple jewel. We're going to go under the bottom of the flesh tone one, grab the 2 green bands, that's one band but it's been looped, and twist it forward like that. Okay? So we need to place our crossover band, and because it's at her waist area we need it to be tight. Take your single flesh tone band and loop it on itself, then lift up the first 2 of your green bands and place the flesh tone band there. Replace the 2 green bands. Do the same for the flesh tone. Lift the 2 top flesh tone up and place your flesh tone band there. Now we're going to lift the 2 top green of this side, hold them out to the side, push your hook under, grab those 2 and stretch them across like that, and then replace your green bands. Okay, we're going to loop up and loop up. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten her arms. Loop up. You're going to take these 2 purple ones and you're going to loop them to the center. Yep. Then we're going to take these 2 purple ones and loop up, and these 2 and loop up. We're now going to do the same with the purple loops here. Go under your bottom purple, grab the other purples and pull them forward like that. Same on this side. Put your hook under, grab the 2 purple loops and pull them down. Now we need to add arms. We do not want to forget our arms. So on your holding hook you have your arms. We need to lift. You can't just place the arms on top of these because her shoulder straps need to go over the top of her. So take the top 2 purple off. If you want to place them up here on her neck while you do this, that's fine. Take your arms, place them, and then you're going to take the purple and put it back like that. Same for the other side. Take the purple top 2 off, place your arm, and then replace the 2 purple like that. Okay. Next we're going to loom the arms up. So dig down and find the 2 bottom flesh tone and loop them, and then loop the other side. We'll loop her chest in, and then her throat or her neck. And now we have the 2 sides for her face. Dig down and find the 2 top ones and loop them to their corresponding side. Like that. Oops. And the middle one up. We're going to take her hair off, hold it out to one side, dig down and find the 2 flesh tone bands, wiggle them up and place them on the hook, the peg above. Replace her hair. We're going to loop up her hair so that it's secure. So dig down and find the bottom 2 and loop up. We're going to do the same this side. Take her hair off and hold it out to one side. Dig down, find the bottom 2 and loop them up, and then replace her hair. Like that. We'll dig down and find those 2 bottom hair bands and loop them up. We now know that these are secure. Loop the centre of her face and then the 2 sides for her hair. And then we're going to get 2 red bands and we'll dig down the centre peg here and out the side. Put the 2 bands on your hook and twist your hook so the smooth side goes against those bands and doesn't snag anything. Pull those bands to the outside of the peg and reclaim the end of your bands. Grab the 2 closest to you, up, over and off, and pull. That's your slip knot. We're going to take her off the loom gently does it. You do not want to break any bands. Now, as I said, the band as her jewel can be a bead. I used a bead on my first one and I liked the result of that. But if you don't have beads, this will show you that a little band there in the centre works just as nicely, as you can see. Stretch her out a little bit. So there we have Ariel. I'm going to pop the loops of her hair behind, back here, so they're not so obvious. You can tie them at the back if you like with a clip. I'm pretty secure in the fact that the slip knot is going to keep them where I want them. So I just kind of hide them out the way. So there she is. Okay. But what we need to do is make her little skirt. As I said, you can make this on a single loom, and I have a tutorial. It shows you how to make a Cinderella one, but it's exactly the same principle, so it won't be a problem. I'm actually going to do mine on the monster tail. I just find it a little bit quicker. So I'm going to put my mermaid to one side. She can have a little chat with the other one, 2 little mermaids, and we will make this. I'm going to start my first layer with purple, and it's going to be, again, the jelly band. I'm going to place it, and I'm sorry for my Batman finger band-aid. I've cut my finger on the side of one of my looms, and it's irritating. So take a band, and you're going to twist it into a figure 8, or an infinity loop, whichever you like to call it, and do that all the way around the bottom as your first row. Now you're going to need at least 16. If you can do a few more, that might be better because she's got quite a long tail. But it's not really necessary because it just gets stuffed up there. So there's our first row of our twisted purple. You don't need to twist any more. All you need are your green bands. Oh, I'm actually going to use the other green bands. I'm going to use the ones that have that sort of pearly look to them. I quite like those, these ones. So what we're going to do is place a band, no, not twisting it, just between the pegs. Like that. That's row 2. Push them all down because these pegs aren't very tall, and now we're on row 3. So we're at the end of row 3. We're going to take our hook, grab the 2 bottom ones and pull them up and over and push everything down. And we're going to keep doing this until we get to the other side. Until we've done the full round. Okay, so we did all of the purple. Now we're going to place another row of green. So every time you loop one up, you replace it with another row until we've hit number 16. This is number 4. So there we go, there's number 4. And again, take the bottom 2 and loop them up and over and push everything down. So I'm going to pause the video, and you are too, and we're going to catch up again when we're both at row 16. Alright, I'll see you then. So I'm back. I think I have actually done 17 rows instead of 16 by mistake, but that actually is probably going to work in my favour because she's got the big tail to try and hide up there. So we're going to loop the 2 bottom bands over, like that, push everything down. Then you're going to take the next 2 bottom ones and loop them over so that you're just left with 2 bands on each peg. Like that. We're going to grab a hook and we're going to take each of these off. And I put my thumb over the last 2 so they don't come off ahead of time. Okay, so I have them all on my hook, like that. I'm going to take 2 green bands and tie them in a knot, like that. I'm going to put the end of the band here and I'm going to slide these loops all onto it. Now that one tried to be sneaky, but I caught him. So push them all on. Slide that around. You're going to take both ends of those bands, one over the other, and then here's the last laughable part, we tie a knot, okay? There we go, I did it. Yay. And you have a loop at the back, and that's fine. That's good. It gives you a bit of leeway. Okay, so we're going to stretch out our dress on our spoon. about halfway down. Make sure these are all evenly spaced, nothing snarly and nasty. So there we go. Now, the fun part, putting our little mermaid in there. What we have to do, I found, is put one piece of her tail behind her, the other piece of tail in front of her, okay? And you want to squidge it down and slide into the spoon bed like that, okay? And then move the spoon up, and if you need to, shove her down a bit more, because you can always pull her back out. It's easier to pull her back out than it is the other way. Get her little hip and jewel bits so they're sticking out. Make sure her tail is up there so that she can stand up. And there you have Princess Ariel standing in her dress, hiding her tail. I really hope you enjoy making her. Take care. Bye-bye. So I'm back. I think I have actually done 17 rows instead of 16 by mistake, but that actually is probably going to work in my favour because she's got the big tail to try and hide up there. So we're going to loop the two bottom bands over, like that. Push everything down. Then you're going to take the next two bottom ones and loop them over, so that you're just left with two bands on each peg. Like that. We're going to grab a hook and we're going to take each of these off. And I put my thumb over the last two so they don't come off ahead of time. Okay, so I have them all on my hook, like that. I'm going to take two green bands and tie them in a knot, like that. I'm going to put the end of the band here and I'm going to slide these loops all onto it. Now that one tried to be sneaky, but I caught him. So push them all on. Slide that around. You're going to take both ends of those bands, one over the other, and then here's the last laughable part, we tie a knot, okay? There we go, I did it. Yay. And you have a loop at the back, and that's fine. That's good. It gives you a bit of leeway. Okay, so we're going to stretch out our dress on our spoon. About halfway down. Make sure these are all evenly spaced, nothing snarly and nasty. So there we go. Now, the fun part, putting our little mermaid in there. What we have to do, I found, is put one piece of her tail behind her, the other piece of tail in front of her, okay? And you want to squidge it down and slide into the spoon bed like that, okay? And then move the spoon up, and if you need to, shove her down a bit more, because you can always pull her back out. It's easier to pull her back out than it is the other way. Get her little hip and jewel bits so they're sticking out. Make sure her tail is up there so that she can stand up. And there you have Princess Ariel standing in her dress, hiding her tail. I really hope you enjoy making her. Take care. Bye-bye.